All right, let's give you a scenario. Say you've been dating somebody for a long time. You think you know him or her, but do you really? Before you walk down the aisle, there are some key questions you need answered.
Our relationship series continues today with Joshua Fredenburg, the author of 50 Questions Before You Say I Do. Joshua, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good to be here. Good to be here.
First of all, how'd you come up with this series of questions?
Well, I came up with this book about 2 years ago. I got a divorce, and I felt it was a bad situation, and I felt like I didn't ask the right questions before I got married. And I felt the foundation wasn't set right, and so what I did is I wanted to help other people avoid my mistake.
I cannot tell you, maybe it's a guy thing, but I've heard male friends of mine say, the gal I walk down the aisle with is not the gal I marry.
Right, right.
So,
but it is probably things just came out in the wash later on that made you go...
Yeah, there were some things that I don't want to put it on blast, but there were some things that came out that I was shocked about. But again, I don't point the finger. I go back to not asking the right questions.
So let's talk about those questions. I think that this is something that our parents probably told us we should have asked and talked about. Values.
Values, absolutely. Values is the first question. One of the questions I think is very important. Do you know your partner's values? Because again, our decisions and our behaviors are governed by our ideas and our beliefs. And no matter how much you try to hide your values, at the end of the day, your values are going to show their head. And if you're not in agreement with the values, then you're going to be very upset. If you're in agreement with the values, you're going to be very excited. There was one study I looked at where there was a group of counselors, and they looked at a variety of marriages. And they said that values was the top 3 reasons why people get a divorce.
It makes sense, though.
It makes sense. That's who you are. That's your authentic self. You know, a lot of times I call people, they put on the representative. And sometimes they'll put the representative on before they get married. So you're walking down the aisle with the representative, but not the authentic person.
You need authenticity.
What if you do come to an agreement and, you know, you're like, yeah, I'm down with that, I'm okay with that, but then later on, it's like, wait a minute, maybe he wasn't really that okay with it. How do you know for sure that you're on the same page?
Well, I think there's always going to be unexpected in marriage. There's always going to be something unexpected. There's always going to be challenges. There's going to be conflict. There's things you're going to face that you had no idea about. I mean, just living with someone for 1 month and you're going to see like, oh my God, I just married this. But the key is asking the right questions and again, allowing yourself to lay a strong foundation.
Are these some of these questions deal breakers, or are they more just discussion openers?
Oh, I think they're deal breakers.
Deal breakers.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, but I mean, some people say it's like the Paul Simon song, you like to sleep with the bedroom window open, I like to sleep with the bedroom window closed, goodbye.
Okay, well, here's one that I think all of us can relate to. The family plays a big part in this. Not just do you like them or not, but do you have a good relationship with your father? Do you have a good relationship with your family?
Absolutely. This is so crucial. You know, I hear women always tell me the way a man treats his mother is the way he's going to treat you. But when I went through this, because I did research on my, I didn't just come up with these questions. I really looked at experts in the field, and I came across a fascinating study. They said a man is more likely to be happy and treat his woman fair if they have a good relationship with the father. And a woman who I thought was going to be a mother has a better relationship with the man, communicates better, is more understanding when they have a good relationship with their father. So instead of looking at the mother, I'm curious, what's your relationship like with the father?
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know.
That was eye-opening.
Okay, family. Oh, another good question.
Okay.
How do you feel about your partner having friends of the opposite sex?
Yeah, me and my dad, we get in this argument all the time because my father, I guess he's tradition. He always said, you shouldn't have friends of the opposite sex. When you get married, let them all go. And I'm like, you're not in the 21st century. There's different opinions on this. Personally, I don't believe that you should cut loose of all your friends. I don't agree with that. But I think there should be some boundaries. Because once you get married, there's some boundaries. Does
your best friend need to be a woman? Maybe not.
But here again,
is the hot tub a boundary, or is that?
Our sleepovers okay?
But that is a generational.
Define your boundaries.
It is a generational thing.
But here goes the study. Again, I just studied. There's a marriage therapist, and this is what she said. She said 90% of friendship between a man and a woman, at some point, someone had a romantic interest. And it's just something to think about.
Really?
At some point,
now,
someone likes the other person.
Which means you didn't even need to know that other person had maybe those feelings, but they did.
Yeah, they did. But again, you know, women like to put the men in the friend zone, and sometimes men like to put the women in the friend zone. So I mean, so it's friends. I'm sure we all have friends, and you know,
Joshua, you're my best friend. You're the smartest guy.
I just don't see any reason to have women as friends. There's no reason. I mean, really.
Okay, so
I thought we were more
our friendship is over.
We go to man movies. What's the point?
What is the point?
Women are here for one reason.
And there is the generational difference. Listen, there are plenty more questions we could ask and answer.
I heard an applause over there.
50questions.org. He also has the book of questions before you say I do. We really appreciate you coming in. This is very interesting.
Thank you for
and some of it is such common sense, but we forget to do it.
We forget, exactly.
Josh, Fredenburg, we appreciate it.
We do.
See you again.